you ever wished you could capture your favorite travel memories in a way that feels alive every time you look back? I'm opening my Prague sketchbook tour and I want to show you what's inside and how it transformed a simple trip to a very fond memory. This sketchbook has been sitting on my shelf for years now, and it's from a short but really special trip to Prague with my mom. I'm so excited to finally share it with you. In this video, I will scroll through the pages, show you what's inside, and share tips and tricks to make your travel sketchbook. And I will talk about my course, Make Your Travel Sketchbook, so stay tuned for that. I use this sketchbook by Strathmore. It's a 400 series watercolor paper. It's a soft cover, and I won't do that again. It's better with a hard cover when you're drawing on location, and it's pretty much used. And I was lazy with the cover, so I just pasted a postcard from Musha. And for the front page, I made something that was ugly, so I pasted another postcard on top of it. This is not by me, it's made by some artist. And I have placed the date. This is very important because you will need that when you are scrolling through the pages years after. And I haven't opened it since, so it will be kind of a discovery. And during this trip, I was with my mother. I took her to Prague because we had never been there before. And I usually begin my sketchbooks, my travel sketchbook, with some paintings, some drawings in the airport. Especially here, we had an hour late, so I had time to draw, especially those guys. It's metal music festival that just finished, so we had all those guys wearing those cool t-shirts and tattoos everywhere. It was really something to watch. And I have a minimal setup. This is just my watercolor palette, a water pen, water brush pen, and fountain pen with waterproof ink. This is all I need for this, and I had certainly another pen. Then first visit was the Prague Castle, and we tried to go to the cathedral, but the queue was awful, so we stopped it. There were the music guards, and I've been to the post office and they were nice enough to place stamps on my sketchbook. I love that. It's a fond memory along with a stamp. And this makes a nice composition. I try to have fun with the fonts, but lettering is not my forte. But all in all, it makes a nice composition. I like those sketchbooks that can stay flat and where you can go across the two pages. Here it's a very famous little street called the Golden Street, and it was overcrowded, so I took a photo and removed all the people and drew that from the hotel at night because it was really packed with people. There's no way I could draw on location. And same for those two, they were drawn from photos in the hotel room, and this one was drawn on location. And talking about the hotel, this is a hotel room, so it's drawn on location in the hotel room, and it was really something because it was covered with gold. Really, everything was golden. It was a bit overwhelming, I think, and also we had this painting on the wall, very gold as well. And this gold comes from this golden ink that I bought in Prague, actually, because of course I had to go to an art supply store. And I used it because gold is everywhere in Prague. It was a bit overwhelming, this bedroom, when I think about it. Now, a page with just some lettering. We've been to the Musha Museum. They also have a stamp you can place in your sketchbook. And I was just rambling in the exhibit, and it was not a great one. but I took some lettering here and there, so same, it's drawn on location. Oh, then it was very interesting visit to the Jewish cemetery, and I drawn that sitting on a bench. There was a special mood to this cemetery, and I love this page. Here also, it's what I call a popcorn page because it's everywhere. There is no real intention in the layout. I just draw the things when I see them. We were sitting on a terrace, and this was some kind of statue on the wall. Also, we had the coins, some window in front of us, the glass we were drinking, and some details around us. And I really like this page. It's really the feeling of the place, all done with watercolor. And then, yes, I know it's a very busy page, but this is a breakfast room in the hotel, and it was really this way. A very strong yellow walls with a collection of, I don't know, clocks and things to bake cakes, and a lot of gold. So I added a bit of gold here and there with the golden ink. Cute page, except for my mom. She's ugly. She doesn't really look like that. But I don't mind. I just drew her directly with my fountain pen. No previous drawing under. So it's kind of scary, but that's the way it is. We were having kind of a meringue, which is, you know, the sugary thing that is cooked. It's just sugar, by the way. No specific taste to it. But hey, gold again. And then we had dinner with the national meal, which is goulash. And this restaurant that is very nice. And I used a bit of gold as well. You know, gold is everywhere, I said. So drawn on location, a bit of splattering to show the sauce, the gravy that is going outside of the plate, and some people, and the decor was pretty nice. And I guess this was written that way in the menu, I'm not sure. Some drawing on location with buildings. What is cool in Prague is all the colors of the buildings. And this was done with a Neocolor. But I think I did those two once I was back home, because I didn't carry my Neocolor with me. Some fun, because aside of this gold ink, I also bought a red ink, and I used some splattering everywhere and drew the tramway and some vintage cars. They were everywhere waiting for tourists to take a city tour. Though I like this double page, kind of wonky and funny. And this is this, I don't know how to say that, kind of cake that is filled with ice cream that is cooked over fire. So I made the recipe and I drew, yeah, I know it's self-portrait, it's not me. I'm ugly. I'm not so full. Forget about this one. Well, never mind. And those ones were drawn when I was back home. I left the page untouched because they are manhole covers. They are just gorgeous, and I did that when I was back home with brush pen, a Tombows brush pen. So I took photos and drew that in the calm of my studio because it takes a lot of time to draw that. I love the effect of the gradients here. And I must say I was lazy to do everything, but that's fine. Looks nice still. Oh, this was interesting. This was an exhibit with costumes from 17th century. I used a lot of watercolor. Love this effect. And drew that on location. And then the famous bridge, and I drew it on location, and then I found that I lack a level. There is 2 rows, you can tell here, but fine, I just write it, lacking a story, and that's fine. And also I show, oh, it's packed with people. This is what I remember of this trip, is so many people. Then a trip to the Modern Art Museum. So I just drew some stuff I saw here and there. Some, I don't know, comics, some 50s paintings, Egon Schiele, and some abstract painting with some notes. And this is what I bought while I was there. So the golden ink, the red one, a gold acrylic, but it's a messy one, some Russian watercolor pans, and some mixed colors. And now that I look at that, I have never used them since this trip. Ooh, I'm a bad girl. This is when I'm back home with Tombow brush pens again. Some door handles from my photo collections. And this is a Jewish neighborhood with some crowd, some tourists, a map, a building, and then a collage with all I took back from the trip, a note bank. I love pasting them, and for once it was not euros. Some stamps, always interesting, and some cutouts from leaflets, the map with the part to visit, and then I didn't fill completely the sketchbook. I have some pages untouched, but really, I'm so happy to have looked back at this one. So as you see, I don't draw everything on location because sometimes you just cannot. Either there are too many people everywhere and you cannot stand still for a while because you will be moved by people, or you are with someone who is not willing to wait for you, or maybe it's freezing or raining or whatever the reason. Sometimes you just cannot draw on location, and that's okay. I am not a purist here, and I don't think that it's necessary to draw everything on location. Rather than that, I draw what I can just to capture the moment, the feeling, the mood, the atmosphere, whatever it is. And then I take photos to remember things because my memory is not that good. And then I draw at the hotel when we have a quiet moment before going out for a dinner at the restaurant, for example. This is why I created this course, Make Your Travel Sketchbook, because now that I look at this sketchbook, I'm so happy I did it at that time. It's so much more interesting and heartwarming than looking at just your camera roll with all your photos inside. The course is made for everyone, from beginners to more advanced people, and I show every technique in details, and I give you ideas to fill your sketchbook because sometimes you don't know what to put inside. And before you leave, YouTube thinks this video is good for you. Thanks for watching.